Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to share a comprehensive guide to home security, beyond the usual tips you've heard 1,000 times. Most people think grabbing a camera system or slapping decent locks on the doors is enough, but real protection requires more layers. The aim here is to highlight often ignored tactics that can protect you from criminals, natural disasters, and all sorts of emergencies. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step framework for creating a safer, more resilient home. If you find these tips helpful, be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and check out the tagged products I've listed below. Those resources are handpicked to help you implement the ideas I'll cover. Don't wait until you've already experienced a break-in or a major crisis. Start upgrading your home security right now. Let me open with a quick story. Someone I know lived in a neighborhood considered safe. One night, a fierce storm rolled in and knocked out the electricity. Within hours, multiple homes on that block became targets because the lights were out, the alarms were offline, and the people there had never taken steps like reinforcing doors or setting aside emergency supplies. Meanwhile, a few homes actually escaped intrusion or damage. Why? Those folks had layered protections, sturdier doors and windows, motion lights with battery backups, plus neighbors who stayed vigilant. The power of small measures adding up can't be overstated. We often think disasters or criminals won't come our way until they do. When the lights go off or someone tries to force a door, all the fancy gadgets in the world won't matter if the basic structure is weak. That's why you want to plan for multiple possibilities, from break-ins to hurricane-force winds. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to do that. A home's doors and windows are supposed to keep us safe, yet so many are installed with builder-grade hardware that yields to a single hard kick. That's why one of the best investments you can make is reinforcing these points. Start with your doors. If the strike plate is secured by half-inch screws that only anchor into the trim, swap them for 3-inch screws that go into the stud. This small fix significantly increases the force needed to kick that door in. People ignore it because it seems too simple, but it makes a big difference. Also check whether your main doors are solid core or hollow. Hollow ones are easy to bust open. Upgrading to a solid core or metal door coupled with quality hardware can foil a lot of break-in attempts. If your hinges are on the outside, use hinges with non-removable pins, or install security pins. Intruders who see vulnerable hinges can pop them out and remove the entire door. Windows need love too. Basic latches are often flimsy. Replacing them with sturdier locks or adding pin locks that limit how far a window can slide drastically raises the challenge for anyone trying to enter. You can also apply security film, a transparent layer that helps hold glass together if it's struck. It won't make a window unbreakable, but it can slow down an intruder enough to alert you or trigger alarms. During storms or other disasters, that film also reduces the chances of dangerous shards flying into your home. Remember to revisit these areas regularly. Wood can degrade, screws can loosen, and frames can warp over time. If you live somewhere humid or extremely cold, that can accelerate wear and tear. A quick inspection every month or two ensures your locks still align, your door frames aren't splintering, and your window tracks haven't corroded. Even the smallest crack or gap can become a point of leverage for someone determined to get in. By addressing these weak spots, you're forcing anyone who tries to breach your home to expend more time and energy, often enough to make them quit or get caught. Criminals prefer dark spots where they can hide. That's why one of the simplest deterrents is good lighting. At the same time, lighting helps you and your family move safely during a crisis, be it a late-night medical emergency or a citywide blackout. You don't want to trip over a garden hose or slip on wet steps when you're in a hurry. Look at all potential approach paths to your home and make sure they're well lit. Commonly, we install a bright porch light by the front door and a floodlight in the back. But forget the sides or the corners. Motion-activated lights in these hidden areas can be a game changer. They stay off most of the time, saving you electricity, then suddenly illuminate when somebody or something passes by. An intruder caught in that bright beam might decide it's not worth continuing. Indoors, lights can create the impression that someone's home. Use timers or smart bulbs to vary when lights turn on. If you always turn on the same lamp in the same window from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., a watchful thief may notice a pattern. By randomizing a bit or leaving multiple lamps on different schedules, you keep them guessing. Also think about lighting when the power's out. Keep flashlights, lanterns, or backup batteries on hand so you're not stumbling in the dark. This is especially vital if you need to evacuate. Good lighting can help you navigate quickly and safely, which might mean the difference between life and death. Your home's utilities, electrical panels, gas valves, water shutoffs, external cables, are ripe for sabotage if left exposed. Someone could shut off your power from the outside or slice a communications line, leaving you literally in the dark and cut off from help. In a natural disaster, easy access to utilities can be a lifesaver, but if these components aren't protected, you can also become a victim of vandalism or sabotage. Check whether your circuit breaker is behind a lockable panel. If not, secure it with a padlock designed for breaker boxes. Label each breaker properly so you're never in doubt which switch controls what. Seconds matter when you suspect an electrical short or if first responders need to isolate a circuit. If your gas or water valves are in plain sight, consider adding a small protective enclosure with a padlock. Just confirm local utility rules, since they might require immediate access. HVAC units outside often contain copper wiring, a prime target for thieves. Lockable cages exist to guard them without obstructing airflow. Cable and phone lines can be placed in conduit to make them harder to cut. Do a quick perimeter check. Are there any obvious lines or boxes that someone could tamper with? A small investment in locks or covers goes a long way toward deterring opportunistic intruders. None of this is a one-time fix. Rust can degrade a lock, storms can loosen conduits, and random accidents can damage enclosures. Make it a habit to walk around your property regularly. If you notice anything suspicious, address it immediately. By locking down these critical points, you ensure you're not left powerless or forced to scramble because someone decided to yank a cable or flip a breaker. Strengthen your perimeter with landscaping and fences. When criminals scout for a place to break into, they look for overgrown shrubbery, tall fences that hide them once they're inside, or an unmaintained yard that suggests complacency. A well-groomed landscape signals diligence. It also removes hiding spots and makes it easier for neighbors to notice any strange activity. Trim bushes and trees near windows. Overgrown foliage can give intruders the cover they need to tamper with a latch. Some people like planting thorny bushes underneath windows to physically deter anyone from crawling in. It doesn't have to be extreme, but something prickly is a cheap, natural barrier. Also watch for tree branches that might let someone climb onto a roof or balcony. For fences, choose a style that aligns with your security goals. A tall privacy fence shields your yard from prying eyes, but if someone climbs inside, they're hidden from view. An iron fence with pointed finials might be less private, but offers visibility. Either way, keep gates locked with sturdy hardware. If you install a chain-link fence, make sure there aren't big gaps at the bottom. Gravel walkways around fence lines can be a low-tech alarm system. Footsteps on gravel make noise. Hardscapes like large stones or planters can prevent vehicles from driving right up to your house. This might seem overkill, but in certain scenarios, a malicious individual might try to smash through a front door or a garage. Decorative boulders or anchored planters can block that approach. Combined with good lighting, a tidy fence, and minimal hiding spots, your perimeter will discourage most criminals and help you spot problems early. Cultivate a connected and aware neighborhood. No single fortress is as strong as a united community. Even the best home security system benefits from neighbors who watch your back. If you know your neighbors, and they know you, there's a far greater chance someone will spot suspicious behavior on your property and alert you. That's why building relationships is invaluable. At the simplest level, exchange phone numbers with people on your street. If you see an unfamiliar car parked for hours or a stranger peeking over fences, send a text. Likewise, if you're out of town, a neighbor can collect packages or move your trash bin so your house doesn't look abandoned. Some neighborhoods organize block parties or barbecues, great ways to build trust. In crisis scenarios like hurricanes, earthquakes, or large power outages, neighbors often become each other's first responders. Digital tools make it easier to stay connected. Neighborhood-focused apps or social media groups let people post warnings about suspicious cars or break-ins. They also help spread word of local events or lost pets. If there's an official neighborhood watch, consider joining. These groups often coordinate with the local police department, which can supply additional signage or training. The sense of community extends beyond just preventing crime. If a disaster strikes, each home likely has different resources. One family may have a generator, another might have chainsaws, another has a truck for hauling supplies. Pooling resources can keep everyone safer. You're not just protecting your own house, you're creating a broader shield where criminals know they'll have to face multiple watchful neighbors. That alone can often make them avoid your block entirely. Organize and stock an emergency supply area. When calamity hits, power outage, severe weather, or civil unrest, you might need to rely on whatever you have in your home for days or weeks. If you're prepared, you'll handle it calmly. If not, you could be desperate. That's why a well-stocked, well-organized emergency area is crucial. Choose a safe spot that's not prone to flooding or extreme temperatures. Basements, back closets, or large pantries work well. Use shelving units that can handle the weight of canned goods and water containers. Keep everything labeled. There's nothing worse than panicking during an emergency because you can't remember where you put extra batteries. A simple inventory list taped inside that storage area is all you need to track items. Aim for at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Some experts suggest a minimum of 3 days, but 2 weeks is even better. Canned foods, dry goods, and sealed meals are staples. Rotate your stock so you don't end up with expired cans. If someone in your family has dietary restrictions or medical needs, store extra supplies accordingly. Include comfort items too, like instant coffee or energy bars, because in a stressful situation, small comforts can boost morale. Don't overlook hygiene and medical supplies. Basic first aid kits should be upgraded with items like splints, tourniquets, burn cream, prescription meds, and extra eyeglasses if you need them. For sanitation, keep disinfectants, wet wipes, and garbage bags. A portable camping toilet or even a bucket with a tight lid can be a lifesaver if your plumbing fails. Finally, stock up on tools, flashlights, lanterns, a crank radio, plenty of batteries, duct tape, and maybe a generator or a portable power bank. These supplies are no good if you haven't tested them, so fire up that generator occasionally, check your flashlight batteries, and confirm everything is still working. Create safe rooms and hideaways. Sometimes, despite your best security layers, you might face an imminent threat inside your home, whether it's a home invasion, extreme weather, or a toxic spill nearby. Having a secure safe room can give you the moments you need to call for help or wait out danger. You don't need a secret bunker behind a bookshelf, although that's cool if you can do it. Even a reinforced interior closet or bathroom can serve the purpose. Choose a room with few or no windows, ideally on an interior wall. Reinforce the door with a solid core or metal. The door frame is just as important, so use long screws, a reinforced strike plate, and a reliable deadbolt. Many people also install a door barricade device for extra protection. Consider adding a layer of sheet metal or ballistic paneling inside the walls if you want to get serious. The main goal is to slow any forced entry, buying you time to contact the authorities. Stock that safe room with essentials. A few water bottles, some snacks, a flashlight, a first aid kit, spare cell chargers, maybe a discreet bucket for bathroom needs. Make sure you have a method of communication, like an old phone on a separate line or a two-way radio. Proper ventilation matters, so check if the room can sustain you for an extended period without overheating or losing oxygen. A small battery-powered fan or ventilation system can help. Concealing the safe room can make it more effective. An intruder who doesn't know it exists may move on rather than try to break in. This can be as simple as disguising the door to look like a utility closet. The fewer clues you give, the safer you'll be if things go south. Once you build your safe space, practice using it. Simulate emergencies and see how quickly family members can secure themselves. The last thing you want in a real crisis is confusion over how to lock the door or where the flashlight is stored. Prepare redundant communication methods. When phone lines go down or cell towers are overloaded, you'll be glad you have multiple ways to reach help or coordinate with family. Redundancy is king in a crisis. Relying solely on your smartphone can be a mistake. A landline, if you still have it, often functions in power outages. Corded phones may work when everything else fails, as they draw power from the phone line itself. If cell service is your mainstay, invest in external battery packs or solar chargers to keep phones powered. A car charger is a last resort if your home's electricity is out. Also consider a cell phone signal booster if you live in an area with spotty coverage. If the network itself goes down, none of that helps though. That's where two-way radios come in. Walkie-talkies that use family radio service or GMRS frequencies can connect you and nearby relatives or neighbors for short distances. For longer range communication, ham radio is the gold standard. Yes, you need a license, but that's just a test away. In large-scale disasters, ham operators often relay vital info when traditional networks fail. If that's too big a leap, at least have a portable emergency radio that can tune into government weather broadcasts or local news. Hand crank models don't need batteries, which can be huge if power stays off for days. Establish a family communication plan. Who calls whom first? Do you have an out-of-area relative that everyone can check in with if local lines are jammed? Write down key phone numbers on paper. If your phone's dead or missing, you won't be scrolling through a contact list. These steps sound small, but in the thick of a crisis, they're crucial. Testing your communication plan is equally vital. Pretend your cell phone is gone. How do you reach each other? Doing a practice run exposes flaws you can fix before a real emergency. Implement decoy strategies and concealment tactics. Burglars usually aren't master thieves spending hours combing your home. They want quick scores. Cash, jewelry, electronics. You can use their impatience against them. One way is by setting up a decoy safe in a semi-obvious spot. Stock it with a little cash, some cheap jewelry, and maybe some old documents. An intruder pressed for time might grab this loot and leave, never realizing your true valuables are hidden elsewhere. Your real safe should be well concealed and bolted down. Some folks disguise safes as vents or place them behind false walls. If a burglar can't find it quickly, they'll either move on or risk staying too long. Smaller valuables like passports, birth certificates, or emergency cash can be tucked away in less obvious places. Thieves typically go straight for the master bedroom, so consider a closet in the basement or a container labeled winter clothes. Spread out your possessions so one lucky find doesn't net everything. Digital valuables need the same mindset. Use encryption for important data and consider creating decoy folders with bogus financial records. Hackers often want easy wins, so a cleverly disguised setup can slow them down. Beyond that, simple psychological deterrents, like a beware of dog sign or alarm system stickers, make criminals think twice. You can even leave large boots by the door to imply that someone big and strong lives there. Layer these tactics with your main security measures for a well-rounded defense. Regularly conduct what-if drills and self-audits. All this talk about doors, lighting, safe rooms, and supplies won't help if you never test them. Security isn't a set-and-forget proposition. Times change, technology updates, families grow, and vulnerabilities shift. Doing occasional drills and self-audits keeps you sharp and reveals weaknesses before they become a crisis. Set up scenario-based drills. Practice a fire escape at night with the lights out. Do a test intruder scenario where everyone rushes to the safe room, locks the door, and calls for help. If you live in an area prone to certain disasters, tornadoes, earthquakes, or hurricanes, run through how you'd secure your home and gather everyone in a protected space. Include your kids in these drills. The more everyone rehearses, the less panic you'll face in real trouble. Walk around your home every couple of months and pretend you're a stranger looking for vulnerabilities. Is that fence starting to rot? Did you leave a ladder leaning against a wall, making it easy to reach an upstairs window? Has the motion sensor stopped working or become obstructed by a tree branch? Check your cameras. Test your alarm. Ensure your firmware is up to date. And confirm that your Wi-Fi network is secure. If you see any suspicious tampering or worn-out locks, act quickly. After each drill or inspection, sit down with the people who live in your home. Discuss what worked, what didn't, and how to improve. Maybe you discovered a window that sticks or a safe room door that's hard to lock. Fix it. Maybe your kids got confused about who to call. Clarify that. By refining step by step, your overall preparedness stays strong. You'll develop the mindset of staying vigilant without feeling paranoid. And there you have it. Practical, often overlooked measures that can drastically elevate your home's security. We talked about reinforcing doors and windows, layering your exterior lighting, protecting utility points, building strong fences, connecting with neighbors, stocking emergency supplies, creating a safe room, securing redundant communication, and using decoys. Each piece forms a layer of defense that complements the others. When you stack these layers, intruders get discouraged, natural disasters are easier to weather, and you and your family become far less vulnerable. Before you head out, remember my call to action. Subscribe, hit that like button, and definitely explore the tagged products below. I've provided recommended tools that align with these strategies, from high-quality locks to durable emergency radios. These resources can save you time and guesswork. Start with small steps. Maybe replace those short strike plate screws with longer ones, or add a motion light on that dark side alley. Then keep building from there. You don't have to do everything at once, but every layer you add makes your home stronger. It's easy to brush off preparations because we think bad things happen to other people. But security is about being ready for the unexpected. The best part is that these measures also reduce everyday stress. Knowing you've thought things through can help you sleep more soundly. If a break-in is attempted or a sudden storm knocks out your power, you'll have plans in place instead of being caught off guard. That's what real security looks like. It's not fear, it's confidence in your ability to face whatever comes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.